All right, our next park build is a Jurassic World Rebirth based Ile Saint-Hubert park build. So this is the island from the new movie. You got the dam, you got the main compound where they escape at the end of the film, and we're going to turn this into a functioning park based on an extended version of the Rebirth roster. So obviously heavily modded. So all the mods will be in the description. This map itself comes from Nexus Mods, so we're taking a map from Nexus Mods and we're adding onto it. So like I've connected up all the buildings. I put the power lines in here to actually use these power generators. And then we've started building our actual park over here off to the side. So we're going to have our initial enclosures. We got, our starting buildings all put in here already. And so we're going to be kind of just building off to the side. We're using the control center here and the power, and the rest of this is essentially all decorative. And we're largely just going to kind of ignore it because it's very pretty and nice, and it makes for a good vibe for starting the map, but functionally, not much we can do with this, right? So, I'll put a link to the map in the description as well, of course, assuming I remember to, which usually takes me about a week to remember that I have to update the descriptions of these videos for the mods. First things first, we need to dig up Dilophosaurus as our starting animal. So we need logistics. 5 is looking pretty good, but we'll check everybody else. Yeah, okay. Dilophosaurus. So we're going to put the Dilos in kind of a little side pen here. And then we'll start breeding herbivores over here. And then we'll expand out as we need to. And we'll put up, more little hillsides and stuff with trees and whatnot to, have the proper vibe as we keep going as well. I'm not going to go ahead and like build up the whole thing preemptively. All right, here's our Dilo fossils. Arthropod, osmium. Grabbing a good load. We need to get a geneticist. And a welfare specialist soon enough as well. So we might as well grab one of each if we see them. We do have a welfare. Little pricey at 340 for starting, but it's not that bad. This guy was decently cheaper. Faster incubation. It looks like we don't have any threes. I'm going to probably just pay for the reroll. Okay, we got a 3 altruistic. I can live with that. Yeah, okay, we'll take Dawood. Yeah, I think Dracorex getting cut and possibly being reworked as a juvenile is entirely reasonable. Yeah, even if you're trying to troll a little bit, insinuating Spino is cut is not going to work. All right, processing those. Might as well finish the genome. Or at least go out and get the rest of the fossils, even if we don't finish it immediately. Could also go do, like, Nasudo for money. Might be worth doing. Alright, and then, yeah, with our ranger building, we've got Biosyn building. Does the Jeep default to the Biosyn skin? It does. Yeah, okay. I feel like it had more red on it. Am I wrong? Yeah, okay, it does have the red. Yeah, so the Biosyn Jeep actually matches pretty well the aesthetics of the vehicle from Rebirth, shockingly. Which may be connected to the compound initially being designed with the idea of it being a Biosyn compound, apparently. Oh, this is not going to last long at all. We need to get actual power. Dracorex is almost certainly a juvenile Pachycephalosaurus. That's fairly settled. And yes, we know that Spinosaurus will feed in deep water. This has been Been confirmed. Let's do power on our logistics guy right now. Even though I just put some money into the backup generator. 85% on the Dilo. I think we better just get a Dilo out. A wave of Dilos now with what we have. Yeah, the hypothesis was that Stiggy and Dracorex were growth stages of Pachycephalosaurus. The current idea, as I understand it, is this is probably true for Dracorex. It's not as cut and dry for Stygimoloch, because Stygimoloch comes from a slightly different place and period of time. So the idea that, as I understand it again, just throwing out that caveat, is that Stiggy is probably a separate species from Pachycephalosaurus wyomingensis, and maybe it is Pachycephalosaurus spinifer, right? So, however you want to think about that, like a subspecies of the Pachycephalosaurus you're familiar with. That's a lot of money, but this will get us off the ground. How are we doing here on bleeding? Income tax, power. Yeah, so power's not like crazy. So we'll get... Once we have power, like, we're pretty good. That's kind of the last thing to do, so... Alright. Let's finish this. Okay, so I want to get a dig out for Nasuto so that we can make money. That'll have gold. And then I want to get this on the electrical grid so that we don't have to worry about running out of juice. So I think we'll put this here. We are playing with free build, so we have no hitboxes. So that may... There may be unforeseen consequences. I've never actually done a free build park build before. Let's do this. We're not gonna bankrupt. We're gonna be fine. We got 200K. Flying and marine reptiles are not dinosaurs unless they are. Which is to say, birds are dinosaurs. And some dinosaurs like Yi can fly, probably, or at least glide, so... Mutodon's going to be a weird one in the DLC. Like, is an aviary animal, it will feel weird, but, like, what else can you do with it? Alright, so we got all these crazy terrain brushes now, and I'm not going to lie, I don't know what half of these really do. So you get to learn as I get to learn. Isn't that exciting? We probably want to leave some gaps so that the cars can reach the fences in case of damage. Okay. Power generator is empty. Let's just kill this. And we'll need power back here. Okay. None of the marine and flying animals in the game, in the traditional sense, are dinosaurs. Yes, correct. But you could argue that Spinosaurus is an aquatic dinosaur. That's my point. A goose is an aquatic dinosaur. That's all I'm saying. I'm being actually guy at the expense of clarity, I guess, in the conversation. All right, we did not get the gold from the Nasuto dig site. We need to go back and go for the gold. Unless it's not in sandbox for some reason, and then I will cry, but it should be. The fossils should be the same. We just happen to lose the dice roll. Okay, then we should be able to probably have profitable amenities, which are all under Jurassic World. Oh, is that one? Wait a second. Oh, I'm just out of power, right? Well, then we just go over here and we turn on one of these. Okay, the fences are unpowered, but who gives a shit? That's fine. Okay. And now, presumably, they want amenities. Well, not quite yet. There we go. $138, 2.7. So these are not profitable currently. We are losing money. The dilos are sort of in view. I saw the baby para thing on Reddit and I was like not convinced. Oh yeah, also for the Dilo, we're using the Biosyn 2022 Dilo just because it's got a mostly gray body with an orange frill. This is the only base game Dilo skin that even kind of matches the new Dilo design, so that's why we went for it. It really ought to have, of course, a brighter orange frill with spots and then kind of some teal along the spine, but we don't currently have an in-game or a modded animal a modded version of the Dilo that quite looks correct. So this is what we got. We're about to run out of money. Except we're bringing in buried treasure soon, so we should be fine. But it would be really nice to get those amenities producing. No dinosaurs in range. Are you sure? I mean, I took a picture of the gate. What do you want from me? Was not much cash either. We have the Rebirth Spino mod, and you know what? I didn't even check to see how that works. I don't know if we can put it in a lagoon. That's a good question. I didn't even consider this. Also, I'm thinking about this now. We have a Biosyn viewing tower here, and we have a Hyperloop. Which means if I use the Hyperloop and the viewing towers for other parts of the park, it'll actually cause amenity demand over here, and that's not really a thing I want to do. Yeah, because currently nobody's going here, and it's fine. But if I change that, then it's going to be weird. I'd like it to not be. I kind of shouldn't put that there, because that's right in front of where the cars go. Liable to cause problems. Put it here. Okay, I want another one down there. Fossils came in. Give me my money. I need profit. 640 big ones. Okay. So there was a brief period in time where we were profitable before we turned on that second generator. Oh, the Loki Ceratops is like way better. I really like the Loki. I think what we do need to do is we need to turn this off, actually. So we just need to micromanage our power a little bit, which we can do by turning you off. And turning you off, I suppose, until we're ready to breed more. Okay, this is pulling a profit though, so we are actually good now. 61, 69, 69, 18, 69 even, 74. Okay. Nasudo is not going to be in the park, but There is an argument for it due to it being in the toy line. But I've decided not to use it. $5,490. 517. 45 it changed. Did it change in a way that matters? No. All right, other stuff unlocking. We're at 1 star already. How are we? Are we supposed to be 30 species, 2% appeal? Is it really 1 star? Oh, is the star rating going to be? No, wait a second. Hold on. Let's get this finished here and then check something. Okay. So this was a downloaded sandbox park, right? I had to set this up. Appeal difficulty. Income target. No, these are both controllable. So it just is already 1 star, I guess. Okay. I was thinking maybe one of those was only tunable at map start, but apparently not. Alright, we'll need more shelter. Do we need... Wait, why is it... Shelter coverage 9%, sure, understandable. But does it matter? Restroom rating 9%. Why does it not actually show me anything in terms of demand for that? Oh, this turned off again. Probably that's why. True. Okay, turn you back off. Jesus. Okay. Yes. Let's clear more fossils out. Actually, this doesn't matter. This is a waste of time. Let's think about maybe... Do I go for a dialogue? We go for a contract. That's what we do. Improve your amenity coverage. Maintain drinks of 80%. Is it not 80%?
Look, happy guests are repeat customers. Let's keep them as comfortable as possible.
What's my opinion on Disney's Carnotaurus? I mean, it's got a good vibe to it, I guess. It's oversized, but it's, you know, the canonic red color of a Carnotaurus, so that's good. Yeah, we have a Diabloceratops mod spoiler, so we'll be having Diabloceratops in the park. 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, let's see here now. So, 90%. Okay. Now it's working. So, they want bathroom at the entrance. None of this counts, which is great. That's what I want to see. Same with this. Great. Okay, cool. So, let's get a bathroom in. Let's get a... Maybe here? Sure. Another shelter, biosyn for the vibes. I could do this. This is probably okay for a shelter spot. And then we need to maybe take a look at turning power back on here and see if now that things are stabilized, maybe it's better.
That objective is completely squared away.
Because before we didn't have this stuff properly like powered on. So maybe we can make this work. What is your revelation? All right. And I'm not gonna breed these Mutodons now or possibly ever. I'm a little on the fence about using these at all. But let's get some more Dilos for now. Certainly, if we do use the Mutodons, they got to be in later. We can't just start with freebie, no work required Mutodons. Okay, let's look at the profit. So the expense has stabilized, and we are decently profitable, so this is good. We probably need a hotel. Social sickly large appetite kind of sucks. Maybe we take just 2, because that's all we can afford anyway. 5's gonna like bankrupt us, but we're kind of good. Like, we're profitable, we have power. We have 1 star, like... It's a little risky to go that low on money, but, like, it's fine. Is it? I should probably have gotten a hotel first. Yeah, 9% accommodation rating. JWE2 is tied with Zoo Tycoon for having the most Triassic animals in a park builder. That's insane. That's crazy. That's something we need in 3 is more Triassic representation for sure. This is not a hot take. People have been saying this. I agree with it. Alright, so we need... Oh, it's only... Wait, it's only 100k for a Jurassic Park hotel? Is that... Okay, they're all 100k. Never mind. I thought these were... I don't know why. I was thinking these were more like 250. Probably the large ones. So the Biosyn building set is our primary building set, but it uses DFW hotels, and these look like shit. So I think I'm going to use JP hotels. Does that make any sense with the aesthetics? Not really. Maybe we use World hotels. I just don't think the DFW hotels look correct. I don't think they match the Biosyn vibe. Let's do a World hotel. If I put it there, it blocks the gate. Maybe we just put it like here. Here? Oh yeah, where's the power actually limit? Okay, the power only goes that far. Like this? It's kind of pointless. So this does not appear to be dramatically elevating itself. Okay, I'm a little... I don't want this to end up halfway up a hill. I'm going to put it over here. Let's just put it like right here on this path. Yeah, I figured it was just a case of, like, Zoo Tycoon, which I've honestly never played, happened to have a more balanced roster than the Cretaceous heavy JWE rosters, which is why they were comparable. So, your statement matches what I would have guessed, is what I'm saying. We can do... Okay, I wonder... So this mod here has, like, ferns and stuff. Do these count as... These do count as forest. Oh, that's fun. Probably not to the same degree the actual forest does, but I mean, it's kind of cool. Good luck seeing the Dilos at all, but... Alright, income tax is on. Okay, we already have Big Path, because I started us out with Big Path. We did power. Staff center is needed. Let's knock that out. And then we can rest this guy afterwards. Then we should look at our animal situation. There's the Distortus Rex, 13 logistics. Let's do it this way. Let's just look at our herbivores. So, Parasaurolophus, right? Parasaurolophus available, ready to go. Apatosaurus viable early. Those are both in the park roster. We can work on both of those. In terms of modded animals, the bunch of these unlock automatically. And then Diabloceratops is 2.5 stars. Yeah, wait, how are we 2 stars already? What is going on here? I don't understand what happened to the star rating. Yes, we will have Maiasaura in the park. I might have to figure out how is this. Was Sandbox 5-star always this stupid even on Jurassic difficulty? Like why do we have so many stars? Other animals. So, Stego, Trike, and Anki, the standby trio, of course. Trike has unlock conditions that are a little bleh. Microceratus could be used as a standard for Aqualops. We're not going to do it. Styracosaurus is arguably an animal that we can use, and we're probably going to use it. So we could push Styrac as our third animal. I know it's less extreme than challenge mode, but this is ridiculous. This is everything's maxed out for the difficulty parameters, and we're at 2 stars on 5 Dilos. That's wild. No Gallimimus also. There's not a hint of this guy in Rebirth, which it never occurred to me until I was like planning this park build that there's not even a tease of Gallimimus being on that island, which is crazy. He's been in every movie till now, and they cut my boy out. Poor fella. Alright, so Parasaurolophus. Definitely what we do. Alright, Parasaur dig site. I never actually rested this guy, so even though I am here, we're not doing this dig. How about one of these instead? Build amenities. Sure. But that does mean I need to do medium research, which we should do anyway, because that is an optimization for profit. 200k. Okay. This is our next task, actually. Alright. Contract done. Medium amenities in. Let's go get Parasaur. Start churning that guy out. Try to squeeze him out today as well. Here's our batch of Parasaur fossils. A little bit of skin impressions for a little bit of rebate. We should probably do dig yield research. Why did I not do that yet? Let's do that. Dig yield. The old standby. Let's process this and then send this cranky guy on vacation. Alright, this guy can go on a break. And now with our new dig yield, we can go ahead and dig up some more Parasaur. I should have did this before we started this altogether. Oviraptor also already unlocked, polluting this dig site, getting in the way of our valuable and desired Parasaur fossils. Very cool. Alright, fossils. We get a nice platinum rebate here. We've upgraded extraction capacity, and we can cram every bit of bone that we can get into the blender. And, something will align here. Yes, okay. And get going on this. The Oviraptor blocking the dig site is going to be kind of obnoxious. Oh, nope, it's done. Never mind. I was going to say it's going to be kind of obnoxious because then you don't know when it's done, right? You have to come back. But no, it looks like we actually cleared both dig sites. Both of the first 2 pair of dig sites out completely, and we can go to this one, which is also polluted with dinosaurs we don't need. Okay, a storm is approaching the island. This could be 33 shelters. This could be weird because, frankly, don't know if some of this stuff will be properly repairable if it gets damaged. Or if our vehicles are going to be able to find this stuff. Hey, these vehicles work, I guess. He's getting there. Is he gonna go up over the hill? Yep. Oh. I am kind of shocked he made it. That's very funny. Watching the Jeeps hop around like frogs is never not delightful. Okay, well, that one at least wasn't bad anyway, so fine. Quick check on our fossils, more plat. To continue the massive level of income we seem to have already been gifted, we'll find more platinum. Why not? I'm going to push this guy so that I can hopefully complete the Parasaur genome. Wait, is it complete? Oh, it's done. Lovely. No staff center. Okay. All right. So the Parasaurs in Rebirth, we see a carcass. That's it. All we see is the dead one. It has the Biosyn paracolors, like the gray and the blue, this 2022A. So we're going to do this as the skin. However, people do point out that the design of the carcass is a little more classic InGen design than Biosyn para design in terms of like body proportions and like the facial design. The thing I've always wondered is the Rebirth Paracarcass a holdover prop from Dominion that just wasn't used from somewhere? Right? Because, like, maybe the Biosyn Para design wasn't really finalized until it came time to do, like, final shots or CGI models or something, right? Could be a thing. I don't know. No info. But anyway, the color palette here is correct. And to me, it's more important that the color palette for the animal match more than the body proportions. So even if the... And I think it's also arguable that the Rebirth Para looks more like the InGen Para than the Biosyn Para. So we're using these. That long story short, this one's the right color. Next animal, Apatosaurus. So, of course, in the movie, we have the lovely scene of the last sauropod in North America dying on a street corner in New York like an unwanted homeless person for some reason. Of course, the Apatosaurus that we see is named Brontobilly, and the radio says he's a Brachiosaurus. So that's fun. We're going to have both Apatosaurus and Brachiosaurus in this park. Apatosaurus is justified by the inclusion of Brontobilly in the movie, who is clearly an Apatosaurus, and Brachiosaurus is actually partially motivated by a prop embryo of a two-headed Brachiosaur in the lab that you definitely can't actually see in the movie. But I think it's a good enough reason to add the animal, so we will. I've gone ahead for the Brachii. I've gone ahead and just kind of given it a color palette of my own choosing. For the Apato, we have to use kind of the lame Jurassic World gray one that always shows up everywhere because they can't be bothered to make a new model for Apatosaurus in the franchise. Oh, and you already have enough trees. Very cool. The first enclosure is going to kind of be like whatever herbivores we put out until we need to split it up more. So it's going to kind of just come down to like whatever order we actually get these guys in. Which is probably going to be at least approximately the ordering you listed there. Yeah, it's really weird that a whole ass sauropod ended up in like downtown New York. I've never been to New York, but somehow I feel like it doesn't make sense. I don't know. Is that just me? Alright, Apatosaurus is ready. We'll probably just put like one in this pen, I guess, because it's probably not going to be big enough for too many. But we could also start another pen somewhere else if we need to. We'll just play it out, see how it feels. Alright, here's our load of fossils. A lot of little junk to sell. Decent amount of Apato. Not a great amount. Let's clear the excess stuff here. We're gonna switch animals, I think, if we can. Let's go find Diabloceratops. Now, where would this guy be? He's North American, right? What dig site is he from? I do not remember. He's like all ceratopsians are basically North American. There he is. He's from Waweep. Okay. That's a 7 logistic. So we might want to go do... We do staff upgrades 1 or we do specialist facility. But we need to do a staff upgrades 1 to even get specialist facilities, so we do staff upgrades 1. Alright, point into this guy, 6 logistics. And Diabloceratops from Waweep Formation. Yeah, that's a 7. I can read. The welfare specialist can go, that's fine. Yeah, I'm not. That's not a problem. So, here's our Diabloceratops fossils. A lot of little fossils, a lot of genome data coming in very quick. That is a half load and 80% genome data. Alright, back to the well. Get me some more. We'll send out this pair. We'll do 1 batch when they get back. Hopefully that we can fit it all in one. And Yakub will be back. After that, we can do a synth. Alright, we can, in fact, fit all of the Diabloceratops fossils in 1 batch. So that worked out perfect. So we'll do this, and then we'll get the logistics guy resting in case we need him for the synthesis and the eventual hatch. Alright, Diablo ready. So, Diabloceratops, right? Is this animal in Rebirth? No. Was this animal going to be in Rebirth? Honestly, I don't know. This is in the merch line. It's got a Funko Pop, which is really weird. Because that's the only place it shows up as a Funko Pop. The Funko Pop is arguably based on the Mattel Diabloceratops figure from like a year or 2 ago. And so it's very possible this animal was never planned to be in Rebirth. But Funko Pop also tends to not do merch for things that aren't in the movies. So who knows? It could have easily been cut. Or it could easily, I think, be a misunderstanding that everybody has assumed that it was at one point in the movie. But you know what? For our purposes, it's a perfectly good inclusion in the roster. And it's, you know, we haven't used this mod before, so that's fun to get to use a new modded animal that otherwise we don't have a good excuse to use. So I'm okay with it. All right, these Diabloceratops do seem to be like incredibly efficient as an animal financially. Min pop 2, we got 3 coming out, so they'll be happy here too. Socially, we didn't check that ahead of time. Let's watch it at regular speed. They also look pretty nice. This is a pretty solid mod. I noticed one thing with modded ceratopsians a lot of the time. No offense to any modders out there. A lot of them struggle to get the horns looking correctly. Like, they tend to look pretty jagged or weird sometimes on modded ceratopsians. These ones look pretty good. And these are 65 appeal. I don't know. That probably ranks about in the middle of the ceratopsians, because I know they top out around 100 something. So probably a pretty good animal overall. This is probably, what, a Chasmosaurus rig in model edit? The frill is very Chasmosaurus, at least. And the brow horns, too, a little bit. Although the beak looks more... makes me feel more Nasudo with like the nose shape and the beak and everything. Anyway, good animal. That's what I would assume where the name Diabloceratops comes from, is the 2 like frill horns, I would guess, evokes the devil. That's why they went for that. I also like that because it's called Diabloceratops, it canonically just has to be red. It's very funny to me. And I agree with it. I made mine red too. We can use some of these different jungle brushes together. Some palm trees. Alright, well, maybe we should breed some more of these guys before we go. Well, I mean, we're at 2.5 stars. Like, I don't know. Do I even need to breed more? The star rating is, like, stupidly easy. Alright, let's go back to digging up a Apatosaurus for now. I mean, we should at least breed probably more Parasaurs, but those were a 5 as well. Maybe we look for a genetic specialist. Yeah, I think it's got to be Kazaruk. I am ecstatic for JWE3. Yes. So far, I have seen more new things in 3 that I'm looking forward to than I would have dared hope that we would get. Which is to say, I really like the reworked terrain tools in water. I don't really care that much about baby dinosaurs, but yeah, the environmental manipulation tools they're giving us look fantastic. Yes. Welcome Ashley Bray to the park. There is a proper geneticist. So, with her, let's get another batch of parasaurs going, because they always feel like an animal that really ought to have more friends than just 5. And then we'll work on this Apatosaurus for next time. Let's leave this one here. We'll go a little bit on the shorter side this time.